Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to today's channel. We're going to be reacting to Twisted Fate, the Card Master. If this is your first time checking out the channel, we're going to look at his biography and story. We'll move on to the trailers that he has. We'll take a look at his skins, the fandom wiki, and finally end off with any voice lines that Twisted Fate has. Now, Twisted Fate is one of those characters that I know is very, very old in League of Legends, so we might be a little bit, not have too much lore or anything to check out for him. We'll try to find as much as we can for him, as well as like a lot of the videos might be pretty old and things like that, so I don't think they've updated his lore or his voice lines or anything like that. What I only know about Twisted Fate is obviously he's kind of like Gambit. I'm going to compare it to X-Men again. I like to compare these to X-Men. That's usually how I do it. And yeah, so he's like Gambit from X-Men. He can obviously do magic abilities with cards. And I know he's best buds with Graves. And I assume he's also from Bilgewater. That's just kind of like context clues that we've learned from doing other reactions, from just pop culture stuff, knowing Twisted Fate. That's what I have knowledge-wise. All right, it's not gambling if you can't lose. Hey, that's not wrong. Role is Mage, region is Bilgewater, and our related champions are Graves, Gangplank, and Misfortune. All right, that all makes sense to me. Twisted Fate is an infamous card sharp and swindler who has gambled and charmed his way across much of the known world, earning the enmity and admiration of the rich and foolish alike. He rarely takes things seriously, greeting each day with a mocking smile and an insouciant swagger. I don't know if that word is even right. In every possible way, Twisted Fate always has an ace up his sleeve. On to the biography. Born to the nomadic river folk of the Serpentine Delta, the boy Tobias Felix quickly learned what it was to be an outsider. Tolerated for the exotic goods they peddled, but shunned for their strange traditions, his people found only short welcomes wherever they birthed their colorful river barks. His elders would shrug and say this was just the way of the world, but the obvious prejudice always stuck in Tobias's craw. He found his true calling in the gambling tents between games of chance and skill like Mort Wheel and Stabberscotch when he first picked up a deck of playing cards. Many years earlier, his superstitious grandfather had shown him how to read omens in the shuffle and cut, while his aunt had later taught him how to read in all opponents' tales. Between the two, Tobias took to the high-stakes game of crack in hand like an old master. He could almost feel each card's place in the deck and followed their movements through each successive hand. He was often accused of cheating, but it was difficult for anyone to explain exactly how. Finally, one night, a group of men who'd lost their fortunes to young Tobias returned in the dead of night to settle the score. They came back bearing cudgels and, emboldened by cheap rotgut, went from tent to tent in their search for him, beating down any of the riverfolk who got in their way. Fearing for his life, Tobias turned and fled into the darkness. Yeah, I'm very curious about his abilities here, so let's see if we learn maybe. When dawn came, the lad sheepishly crept back to find his people breaking down the camp. No one would look him in the eye. He had thought only of himself and left others to face the consequences of his actions. So he begged and pleaded with them all. Tobias was exiled for what he had done. With his whole world falling apart around him, he watched helplessly as the barks left, leaving him alone on the riverbank with nothing but his grandfather's worn deck of cards clutched in his hands. Oh, so he was abandoned. He grew to manhood as a drifter, trawling the gambling halls of every settlement he came to, using his preternatural skill to earn enough coin to survive. That Tobias was able to relive the boastful, the arrogant, and the cruel of their cash, and was just an added bonus, though he's always careful to let his marks win at least a few hands here and there. Across one table, he met a deplorable fellow named Malcolm Graves. Each recognizing a kindred soul, Tobias and Graves quickly joined forces, and the two of them spent years running various dubious endeavors across the northeastern coastal towns and beyond. With every con, swindle, and heist, Tobias felt the pull of the cards growing stronger, and he knew it was more than mere gambler's luck that guided him. His people had always waved away concerns over primitive magic and cardmancy, but now Tobias began to seek out ever more dangerous means to bend the cards to his will. That search ended badly when a particularly daring heist went wrong. The exact details of that night remain shrouded in mystery, for neither of them likes to speak of it, but Graves was taken alive, while Tobias and other accomplices ran free. Okay, so he's going to go back and rescue Graves. Though he tried to break Graves out, he failed. Oh, okay, well, never mind. Instead, seeking to begin again, he returned his birth name to the river's waters and took another Twisted Fate. Okay. After that, Twisted Fate continued to apply his criminal trade in the high parlors and low dens of every city he visited. Though without his partner to help him, he tended to find himself cornered far more often. Indeed, he was imprisoned with great fanfare too many times to count, yet no cell ever seemed able to hold him for long. Twisted Fate was always gone with morning's light, leaving only a mocking calling card to confirm he had ever been there at all. Oh, that's cool. It's kind of like Joker. In the port of Bilgewater, Twisted Fate and Graves finally had their day of reckoning. They were forced to put aside their differences after being caught up in a power struggle between the ship captains who ran the place. But following the death of the Reaver King Gangplank, the pair managed a swift reconciliation before shoving off and making for distant Piltover. Oh, okay, so they're on their way to Piltover. All in all, Twisted Fate is glad to have his old friend back, even if it might take another job or 2 or 10 to restore their once easy partnership. Okay, that's really cool. I like that they're literally incorporating 2 characters, lore-wise, just like immediately. They're like, okay, these 2 are best friends. So you definitely have to do like a reaction to both of them, right? All right, that was a fun little story. He's basically abandoned by his river folk, and he has this cardomancy or whatever they're calling it. And he just ends up using that to become, to survive. And then he ends up being friends with Graves, and they start doing, of course, with these kinds of abilities, you might do some criminal activity. So, yeah, it all makes sense to me. Let's move on to the story. All right, everybody, let's look at the story called Double Down. All eyes in Fortune's glory were on Twisted Fate. He felt the gambling hall's many patrons regarding him with a mixture of envy, vicarious excitement, and spiteful longing for him to lose everything on the turn of the last card. Beyond the avarice common to dens of chance, Twisted Fate felt a singular purpose at work here. A noose being slowly drawn around his neck. The cards were twitching in agitation, warning him of danger. He knew he should fold and get out before whoever was hunting him sprang their trap, but the opportunity to make a pauper of the man across the table was too enticing to forego. He grinned at his opponent, a greedy merchant whose fortune was built on the whipped backs of enslaved miners. The man's robes were expensive, failure furs, hand-tooled leather, and Bilgewater sea charms. Every finger boasted a ring of blood gold worth more than most men would see in a lifetime. Aromatic smoke drifted from clay pipes to hang over the fortune and coin, jewelry, and deeds lying between them like a pirate's treasure hoard. Twisted Fate nodded toward the merchant. I do believe it's your call, Master Henmar. I am aware of the rules, River Rat, said Henmar, as Twisted Fate ran his tattooed fingers in a repeating spiral pattern on the backs of his cards, and do not think any of your fancy sleight of hand is going to distract me into making an error of judgment. Distract you, said Twisted Fate, exuding laconic confidence in every gesture. I declare I would never stoop to such a low and dishonorable ruse. No? Then why is it your eyes keep darting from the table, said Henmar. Listen closely. I have negotiated with the best of them, and I know the tale of a desperate man when I see it. Twisted Fate gave a sly grin, swabbing the cards between his hands and theatrically doffing his wide-brimmed hat. I mean, hey, he could be bluffing, right? You're sharp, sir. I can see that, he said, sweeping his gaze across the gathered crowd. The usual collection of hangers-on, men and women, hoping that whoever won might be generous to those nearby. The cards trembled as Twisted Fate's eyes fell upon certain individuals, and he felt his mouth fill with the rancid flavor of sour milk. He'd long learned to trust that reaction as a sign of imminent bedlam. There, a man with an eye patch and a flame-haired woman. They were almost certainly armed and well aware of his slippery nature. Did he know them? Probably not. Were they working for Henmar, protecting his assets? Unlikely. A man like Henmar would make it obvious who he'd brought. Bounty hunters, then. The cards were growing ever more alarmed in Twisted Fate's hands. He slipped them together and placed them flat on the table. You have a look that tells me you know you have already lost, said Henmar with the tone of a man who believes everyone to be his inferior. That's what Henmar seems like. Then what say we make this a little more interesting, sir, replied Twisted Fate, spreading the cards in a fan and watching as the hunters eased closer. Care to double down? Are you able to cover that much? Asked Henmar suspiciously. Easily, said Twisted Fate, locking his gaze with the merchant and lifting a heavy pouch of coins from the voluminous. Easily, said Twisted Fate, locking his gaze with the merchant and lifting a heavy pouch of coins from the voluminous pockets of his long coat. Can you? Henmar licked his lips and snapped his fingers. Ew. A flunky behind the merchant handed him a matching bag of coins. The patrons of Fortune's glory gave a collective moan as it was added to the gold heaped in the middle of the table. Wars had been waged for less coin than was at stake here. Wow. You first, said Henmar. Always, agreed Twisted Fate. Flipping over his cards as the bounty hunters made their move, the man with the eye patch lunged at him with a capture collar. The woman shouted his name and drew a matching pair of pistols. Twisted Fate kicked the underside of the table, spinning it into the air in a shower of coins, cards, and parchment. The pistols fired with deafening roars, blasting fist-sized holes in the table. The capture collar snapped closed, but when the smoke cleared and the scream stopped, Twisted Fate was nowhere to be found. Henmar rose to his feet, his face twisted in outrage as he searched in vain for his opponent. He looked down at the broken pieces of the table and the color drained from his face. Where is the money? He yelled. Where is my money? 5 cards fluttered face up to the floor of Fortune's glory, a winning hand. So this is a really cool, this would be such a cool, like short and sweet little cinematic if we had one. But not only did he have a winning hand, also did he took the money and he survived. So clearly Twisted Fate is a man who knows the details of the room that he is in, right? Being the kind of guy that he is, he has to keep an eye on like anything going on in the room. He knows there are people after him. So he's always, he seems very intuitive and very detail oriented in looking around the room and knowing what's going on, and even knowing who he's having a conversation with and just being able to tell from social cues and just like the way the other person is talking, like what kind of person they are, right? So that isn't even his superpower. That isn't even like his ability or anything in League of Legends. That's just like who Twisted Fate is. Obviously, we have the other part of Twisted Fate that we're going to get into his abilities next, but it's still really cool. Obviously, again, Gambit from X-Men is my initial thought, even just reading this whole story. All right, everybody, we are getting into Graves the Outlaw. We're going to be reading his biography and story along with Twisted Fates. So let's go ahead and dive into this. And I gotta say, I think I've definitely come a long way. I used to actually like get Graves and Gangplank mixed up. I like couldn't tell the difference between the two, but I very much so can tell the difference now. Anyway, moving on. All right, the quote says, "We're here for your gold, not your heads, so don't anybody decide to be a hero." That's a perfect quote. Role is Marksman, Region Bilgewater, and of course our related champions are Twisted Fate, Gangplank, and Misfortune. All right, Malcolm Graves is a renowned mercenary, gambler, and thief, a wanted man in every city and empire he has visited. Even though he has an explosive temper, he possesses a sense of criminal honor, often enforced at the business end of his double-barreled shotgun, Destiny. In recent years, he has reconciled a troubled partnership with Twisted Fate, and together they have prospered once more in the turmoil of Bilgewater's criminal underbelly. Raised in the wharf alleys of Bilgewater, Malcolm Graves quickly learned how to fight and how to steal, skills that would serve him very well in all the years ahead. He could always find work hauling contraband up from the smugglers' skiffs that came into the bay each night, with a tidy side gig as hired muscle for various other unsavory local characters as they went about their business in the port. But the alleys were small time, and he craved more excitement than they could offer. Still little more than a youth, Graves stole a blunderbuss and smuggled himself aboard a ship headed out of Bilgewater to the Shuriman mainland, where he stole, lied, and gambled his way from place to place along the coast. Oh, okay, I didn't know that. Across the table of a high-stakes and highly illegal card game in Mudtown, Graves met a man who would change the course of his life and his career, the trickster now known to many as Twisted Fate. Each immediately saw in the other the same reckless passion for danger and adventure, and together they formed a most lucrative partnership. Between Graves' raw brawn and Twisted Fate's ability to talk his way out of, and occasionally back into, almost any situation, they were an unusually effective team from the outset. Their mutual sense of roguish honor grew into genuine trust, and together they stole from the rich, swindled the foolish, and handpicked skilled crews for specific jobs and sold out their rivals whenever they could. Though at times Twisted Fate would blow all their shares and leave them with nothing to show for it, Graves knew that the thrill of some new escapade was always just around the corner. On the southern borderlands of Valoran, they set two renowned noble houses of Noxus at each other's throats as cover for the rescue of a kidnapped heir. Wait a minute. That they pocketed the reward money only to ransom the vile young man to the highest bidder should really have come as no surprise to their original employer. In Piltover, they still hold the distinction of being the only thieves ever to crack the supposedly impenetrable clockwork vault. Really? Not only did the pair empty the vault of all its treasures, they also tricked the guards into loading the loot onto their hijacked schooner for a quick getaway through the sun gates. No way. In almost every case, only once they and their accomplices were safely over the horizon were their crimes even discovered, usually along with the one of Twisted Fate's trademark calling cards left where it would easily be found. But eventually, their luck ran out. During a heist that rapidly turned from complex to completely botched, Graves was taken by the local enforcers while Twisted Fate merely turned tail and abandoned him. Oh. Thrown into the infamous prison known as the Locker, Graves endured years of torture and solitary confinement, during which time he nursed his bitter anger toward his old partner. Well, who wouldn't, right? A lesser man would surely have been broken by all this, but not Malcolm Graves. He was determined to have his revenge. When he finally clawed his way to freedom with the prison warden's brand new shotgun slung over his shoulder, Graves began his long overdue pursuit of Twisted Fate. The search led him back home to Bilgewater, where he found that the wily old card sharp had acquired a few new bounties on his head, and Graves would be only too happy to claim them. However, just as he got Twisted Fate in his sights, they were forced to put aside their differences in order to escape almost certain death and the ongoing conflicts between the Reaver King, Gangplank, and his rival ship captains, which, of course, Misfortune. Once again, Graves found himself escaping his hometown, only this time he had his old friend in tow. While both of them might have liked to pick up their partnership where they left off all those years ago, such resentment couldn't simply be forgotten overnight, and it would be a while before Graves could bring himself to trust Twisted Fate again. Still, he feels Bilgewater calling to him once more. Maybe this time around, the pair of them will find their stride and be able to pull off the ultimate heist. Yeah, obviously, I don't think either of them trust each other. And especially Graves, obviously, because he was betrayed by Twisted Fate. But, realistically, yeah, they're both going to have trust issues. They probably have trust issues with anybody at this point now, but especially between each other. But they still know that their teamwork really works together. All right, the story for Graves is called One Last Shot. Holed up in an empty bar, bleeding from a dozen wounds and surrounded by armed men who wanted him dead, Malcolm Graves had seen better days. He'd seen worse ones too, so he wasn't worried yet. Graves leaned over the smashed bar and helped himself to a bottle, sighing as he read the label. Damacy and wine, that all you got? It's the most expensive bottle I have, said the innkeeper, cowering below the bar in a glittering ocean of broken glass. Graves looked around the bar and grinned. I reckon it's the only bottle you got left. The man had panic written all over him. He clearly wasn't used to being in the middle of a gunfight. This wasn't Bilgewater, where fatal brawls broke out 10 times in a day. Piltover was regarded a more civilized city than Graves' hometown, in some ways at least. I really want Graves and Twisted Fate to just somehow be in Arcane Season 2, but it's not going to happen. He yanked the cork free with his teeth and spat it to the floor before taking a swig. He swilled it around his mouth like he'd seen rich folks do before swallowing it. Piss water, he said, but beggars can't be choosers, huh? A voice shouted through the broken windows, buoyed with confidence it hadn't earned and the false bravado of numbers. Give it up, Graves. There's 7 of us to 1 of you. This ain't going to end well. Damn straight it ain't, hollered Graves in return. If you want to walk away from this, you best go fetch more men. That's funny. He took another swig from the bottle and then put it down on the bar. Time to get to work, he said, lifting his one-of-a-kind shotgun from the bar. Yeah, I want to know a little bit more about his shotgun here. Graves reloaded, pushing fresh shells home. The weapon snapped together with a satisfyingly lethal sound, loud enough to carry to the men outside. Anyone who knew him would know that sound and what it meant. The outlaw slid off the bar stool and made his way to the door, glass crunching beneath his boot heels. He stooped to glance through a cracked window. 4 men crouched behind makeshift cover, 2 on the upper floor of a fancy workshop, another 2 in shadowed doorways to either side. All held crossbows or muskets at the ready. We tracked you halfway across the world, you son of a bitch, shouted the same voice. Bounty didn't say nothing about you being alive or dead. Walk out now with that cannon of yours held high. There don't need to be no more bloodshed. Oh, I'm coming out, shouted Graves. Don't you worry none about that. I love the way he talks and just like reading it. He drew a silver serpent from his pocket and flipped it onto the bar, where it spun through a pool of spilled rum before landing heads up. A trembling hand reached up to take it. Graves grinned. That's for the door, he said. What about the door? Asked the innkeeper. Oh no. Graves hammered his boot into the inn's front door, smashing it from its hinges. He dove through the splintered frame, rolling to one knee, gun blasting from the hip. All right, you bastards, he roared. Let's finish this. That's fun. All right, I mean, we know he's a good shot, right? He's got to be a good shot. He also just has no fear. He's ready to go take on like 7 or 8 people outside the bar and just, yeah, he's got it. Hopefully we get a little bit more details about the shotgun, probably in the wiki. I'm very curious about his weapon. That is another fun read that I think, again, could have been like a 1 minute or so little cinematic from League of Legends. But alas, we do just have the story. That's fine. All right, as you guys all know, Twisted Fate is a very old champion, so we're just going to take a look at the abilities page instead of looking at the champion spotlight. So we're taking a look here. Difficulty says high. Let's look at the first ability. The passive is Loaded Dice. That's a cool name. Upon killing a unit, Twisted Fate rolls his lucky dice, receiving 1 to 6 bonus gold. That immediately reminds me specifically of like the TFT buff that would be in some seasons with like the pirates or something. They would get like more gold or something. But that's really cool. Okay. That's an interesting passive because it has nothing to do with like attack damage. It has nothing to do with anything else other than just getting more gold. Because every single like champion I've reacted to so far as passive has just had to do with like, oh, you get bonus damage after like the 3rd attack or something like that. So this is very unique actually. Next we have wild cards. Q, Twisted Fate throws 3 cards, dealing damage to each enemy unit that they pass through. And I believe I have seen this also because of just TFT, that like 3-way attack with his cards, which is pretty cool and hits more often than you would think, right? Next up is the W, pick a card. I have not seen this. Twisted Fate chooses a magic card from his deck and uses that for his next attack, causing bonus effects. So it's random each time, huh? Or are you actually picking? Okay, and then a stacked deck. E, every 4 attacks, Twisted Fate deals bonus damage. In addition, his attack speed is increased. Okay, so that's almost like the passive a little bit, but it is his E. So every 4 attacks, Twisted Fate deals bonus damage, and then his attack speed's increased. Okay. The ultimate is called Destiny. Twisted Fate predicts the fortunes of his foes, revealing all enemy champions and enabling the use of Gate, which teleports Twisted Fate to any target location in 1.5 seconds. What an interesting ability. So first off, it reveals all enemy champions. Does that reveal it to the entirety of your team? I would assume so, not just Twisted Fate. And then, or maybe it is just a Twisted Fate, and then he's able to teleport to any location. Does it have to be a revealed location via like wards or anything, or can he literally just teleport anywhere? Okay, that is these are very unique abilities in my opinion. None of them seem to be really damage based besides like the 3 in the middle here, and they're like kind of different as well, right? I can immediately see why difficulty is high. I'm not even sure what kind of play style Twisted Fate works with and like what lane or anything he plays. So you guys will have to let me know that in the comments. And yeah, please let me know over the years that clearly Twisted Fate has been in the game for a very, very long time. Let me know some of the highs and lows of Twisted Fate's meta and just some of the highs and lows of just like Twisted Fate as a champion throughout the years in League of Legends. You guys will have to let me know. All right, once again, we are taking a look at the ability page for Graves because the champion spotlight is just so old that we're not going to take a look at that. The abilities most likely have changed since 13 years ago. All right, here we go. Roll marksman difficulty is only low for Graves. All right, his passive is called New Destiny. Graves' shotgun has some unique properties. He must reload when he runs out of ammo. Attacks fire 4 bullets, which cannot pass through units. Oh. And then non-champions struck by multiple bullets are knocked back. Okay, so several aspects to the passive here. That's pretty interesting. And he does have to reload when he runs out of ammo. End of the line is Q. Graves fires an explosive shell that detonates after 2 seconds or 0.2 seconds if it strikes terrain. Okay, so you can make it go off on terrain much faster. Otherwise, it's 2 seconds. Pretty cool. It's just a little like grenade launcher, basically. And then we have smoke screen. Ooh. Okay, I'm looking at the little screen here. All right, so Graves fires a smoke canister at the target area, creating a cloud of smoke that reduces sight range. Enemies caught in the initial impact are dealt magic damage and have their move speed reduced briefly. Okay, so you can probably use that in many aspects. I feel like smoke screen has multiple uses to it. And then quick draw is E. Graves dashes forward, gaining an armor boost for several seconds. If Graves dashes towards an enemy champion, gain 2 stacks of True Grit instead. Hitting enemies with basic attacks lowers the cooldown of this skill and refreshes the resistance boost. Okay, I'm not sure what True Grit is. It's not really telling me. Maybe it's just something to do with more damage, I assume. But anyways, so he gets a little armor boost for several seconds if he dashes anywhere. And then Graves, if he goes towards an enemy, though, he gets True Grit. Okay. All right, and the ultimate, let's see it. Collateral damage. I may or may not have seen that in TFT as well. Collateral damages are Graves fires an explosive shell dealing heavy damage to the first champion it hits. After hitting a champion or reaching the end of its range, the shell explodes, dealing damage in a cone. Again, just kind of like an explosive shell that just does a bigger amount of damage compared to end of the line. All right, I could see, like, I guess why difficulty is low. His abilities are pretty much basic. It's just like, I feel like it's your typical like FPS gamer kind of abilities. You got like a smoke grenade, you have like a little grenade, explosive shell grenade, and then you have like a little dash ability. Graves has been in the game a long time. You guys will have to let me know, like, over the years, how's the meta been for Graves? How difficulty is he actually? Is he pretty easy? What lane does he play? Just let me know any of those kinds of things about Graves. All right, guys, we're going to start off with something quite old. We're going to watch the Twist of Fate cinematic, but we're just going to watch the Twisted Fate portion of this, which I believe is just at the very beginning. This is over 11 years old, guys. So let's watch this. Obviously, this is old Twisted Fate, so things might be a little different. And it's been a while since I've seen this cinematic, so let's watch a little bit of it again. Ah, here we go. Right at the beginning. Yep. This trailer has quite a bit of views too. Oh, now hold on. Where is he? Where is that city? That's not Demacia, is it? Maybe. He's got an ace of spades in his hat. He just killed a bird with a card? Oh, that's because it's old fiddlesticks. Okay. Okay, let's see this. I don't think Twisted Fate wins this one, obviously. But let's see what he can do. Okay, he picked a card. And it just takes us out of it after that. Okay. All right. We don't need any more of the cinematic here because none of it is really Twisted Fate or anything like that. This is just like a League of Legends cinematic from way back when. You guys will just have to let me know if this is Demacia here. I want to say it is, but I could be completely wrong. So please let me know in the comments on that one. Hopefully watching a part of the cinematic gave you guys a little bit of nostalgia because it is kind of an old one. All right, everybody. I have seen this cinematic, but we are going to go ahead and watch it again. We are doing the Twisted Fate and Graves, reaction here. So we kind of have to honor it and watch these two in action here. It is called Tales of Runeterra, Bilgewater. It is called Double Cross. I always don't remember exactly which cinematic it's going to be, but like I know Twisted Fate and Graves are in this one. I don't know who else might be in it. But we get a look at their dynamic again. Twisted Fate and Graves, of course. Okay, Misfortune's in this one. We probably last watched this when we did her reaction.
Seems like I'm the one holding all the cards now.
Well played, Captain. You finally landed me.
Don't flatter yourself.
Of course, he has a card up his sleeve.
Your partner.
Now, Graves is too smart to walk into a trap. If you think he'd be stupid enough to bash...
Let him go and nobody...
That's so funny.
Damn it.
Dumb luck is a gift.
But Misfortune's trap didn't work.
Oh, is it?
Oh. Not very lucky there, are you? Twisted Fate.
No, you don't.
Yeah, don't let him get any card in his hand, right? Because that would be trouble. Okay, I see Graves and Misfortune are either really bad at aiming or they're just both very good at avoiding bullets. Oh, that was cool. The teleport, his ultimate.
Don't make any more trouble.
Okay, you win. So who gets to collect my bounty?
Well, by arrangement, we always split 50-50.
Nah, hold up, 70-30.
70-30.
Time, I'm pretty sure I just saved you again, which means I get the bigger cut perfectly under control until you came far. You were upside down like a piece of meat.
Hold that.
And both of their guns went on either side of the box.
That is not my elbow.
Hold on. Oh, whoa. What do you mean it's not his elbow?
You are a very large man.
Definitely a bromance between these two.
As promised, 2 for the price of
Oh, I remember this cinematic now.
your quartermaster.
Misfortune doesn't end up going through with it because
Thanks, Captain.
You're lucky
she
I
feels
liked
bad, I think.
These two will make a worthy sacrifice to the beasts below.
Or she didn't know they were going to end up being sacrificed.
Years of suffering.
We can talk this out. All right, they're definitely pretty funny together.
Sorry, this isn't your last hand.
Ah, there you go.
Let's go before this gets ugly.
Looks like the tides of Bilgewater have shifted again, my friend.
I was gonna say, I assume the red card would mean explosion.
Sea witch!
I sacrifice.
Find someone else to feed your monster. You gotta catch us first, this fighting
Just another beautiful day in Bilgewater.
Yeah, I really love the humor and the writing between the two characters. It really, you might just take it as like straight up just them trying to be funny, but you kind of see the dynamic between the two, that they're like able to flow and just be funny with each other. All right, guys, of course, very fitting. Twisted Fates reveal in Legends of Runeterra. Let's take a look at this.
Only fools play the hand they're dealt.
Okay, so he's a 4-mana 2/2 with quick attack play a destiny card. Level up when I've seen you draw 8+ cards. Oh, that's pretty, it's not too hard. Okay.
I'm always up for a round or two.
Right. Blue card, gold card, red card.
I
Eh.
think it's luck.
Okay, the red card deals 1 damage to the enemy nexus.
Stacking the odds.
Refill 1 spell mana, draw 1, deal 2, and stun the strongest enemy. Okay. Deal 1 to all enemies in the nexus.
I guess you can win them all.
So he's all about drawing. Is this the level up animation? Okay, that was really cool. That was a really cool one. All right, so I wish I could do that with my fingers too with cards. Anyways, so now he's a 3/3. The first 3 times I see you play a card each round, I play a destiny card. Very nice. That's pretty, I feel like that's kind of OP.
Eyes open.
Okay, what else do we have going on here?
Who says I don't share?
All right, we'll get to his voice lines later. They sound pretty good.
Blue as the serpentine.
Blue as the serpent tide.
Pretty good.
I really expected him to have like a southern or an accent like Gambit does from X-Men. I really just did. Like he kind of does, but not really. All right, cool. You guys will have to let me know if any of you are playing Legends of Runeterra, how Twisted Fate plays. And of course, we're going to take a look at Graves as well. If he is in Legends of Runeterra, which I assume. All right, so color me surprised that there is literally a login screen for both Twisted Fate and Graves wrapped into one. This, I think, is like 6 years old. Yeah, 6 years old. And yeah, login screen for Twisted Fate and Graves. Let's just give it a listen. It's a minute and a half, a little short, but that's okay. Oh, is this what we heard in the Legends of Runeterra trailer? I think it might have been. Okay. It's got that like kind of Louisiana kind of twang sound to it, I feel like. I love how Graves is pointing a gun at Twisted Fate in the art, though. Even though you know they're best of buds, right? This is cool. This is perfect, I feel like, for these two. I wouldn't call it pirate music necessarily. Well, yeah, it's kind of like a sea shanty a little bit. Maybe it kind of is. Yeah, okay. It's giving Pirates of the Caribbean, you know? I couldn't tell you all the instruments being played right now. There's at least a banjo, right? Probably. Okay, I wish they would have taken it somewhere further, but that's why it's only in a minute and 46-second song. I think they could have maybe had like a second step to the song there, but they just didn't go further with it. But no, I think this is a perfect song for these two. I'm totally surprised that they both, I feel like, I don't want to say it's cheating, but they literally just combined the login screen and was like, okay, you know what, this fits for both Twisted Fate and Graves, and they're basically, you know, if there's a bromance here, let's just have them be one login screen. Anyways, I thought it was perfect for these two. I think it's really, really good. If they wanted to make it a longer song, they could have like brought it up to like the next step or something, had like another part of the song or another melody or something. But no, this is perfectly fine for a sea shanty kind of song for these two. All right, everybody, we have a tall tale ahead of us. We have a crap ton of Twisted Fate skins to go through. I will try to go at medium speed through all of them. There's a crap ton of them. We're going to pick our top 3. You guys, of course, let me know your favorite skins in the comments, please. Let's just dive in here. We have a lot to go through. All right, so we have Twisted Fate in his original design here. So he's wearing mostly black and gold, I guess, basically. And his eyes are glowing blue. I guess I didn't realize that, but that's when he like usually activates his magic. Anyways, cool. I like the design. We're going to see a lot more ahead of us, so let's keep going. This one is the pack skin given away at 2009 packs. That's insane. Is this like a super rare skin, or have they like somehow put this on the shop again? It's obviously not the greatest looking skin. It's just kind of like a little bit of a recolor. And then they put PAX 09 on the cape. But other than that, I would say maybe because of the rarity, it could be cool. Next is Jack of Hearts. Ooh, all right, let's see this one. All right, so again, kind of a recolor. I'm going to call them recolors when like the design of Twisted Fate doesn't change at all except for just the colors, right? So you could almost just see these as different chromas. But I mean, this is kind of a fitting one here, the Jack of Hearts. That's pretty cool. We've seen a couple of the other skins for the Hearts design. I think this is actually a cool set or skin line for him, but we're going to take a look at some more. The Magnificent. Oh, is he supposed to be a magician in this one? That's my guess. Yes. Okay. I was going to say you got to change that top to be a top hat or whatever it's called. And then the pants as well change. And then the cape as well. Okay. We got like spades and clubs on the back here. That's pretty cool. I do like the idea of the Magnificent Twisted Fate. So the whole idea of him being a magician, that would also make sense. So I actually really like the design and decision for this skin, but let's keep going. All right, and then we have a Tango Twisted Fate. Who's he tangoing with? I didn't see who that was. The rose in his mouth with the red tuxedo jacket, and then the black pants, and then the red and black shoes. This is a very funny skin as well. Also, a very fitting skin, I think, for Twisted Fate. Very good design, but let's keep going. Who is that he's dancing with? I feel like I've reacted to this. Is that Evelyn? I think that's Evelyn Tango, right? Because of the purple? Yeah. Okay, continuing. High Noon Twisted Fate. If anything, High Noon Twisted Fate, if anything, this makes the most sense for him as well. But he's obviously going to make me think of just like any sort of cowboy character. He's going to make me think of like Cassidy from Overwatch. those kinds of things. All right. Oh my. Okay. What did they do to him though? I don't like this color of like brown and like light brown or yellow or tan or whatever you want to call it. I'm not the fan of it actually at all. Hopefully they do like a prestige high noon maybe or something for Twisted Fate later on and it looks a little bit better. Okay, but he does look like, you know, he does look like a cowboy basically. So I think they got that down. I'm just not the biggest fan of the color of what he's wearing. Musketeer. They're just doing any sort of skin that has any sort of similar hat style to what he has. I feel like. All right, so he's one of the musketeers in this. Yeah, okay. You know what? I feel like this one's kind of a step up, maybe because I just like the outfit of a musketeer or something. I think the blue, white, and gold looks really good. I don't even know what this kind of clothing is, but like the puffy arm sleeves, the puffy thing in the front here, and then the giant like feather in the hat. That's all really funny. Like, that's all like really nice looking flares to the outfit. So I do like the musketeer one. All right, now we have Underworld Twisted Fate. I'm going to take this as a semi-Halloween type of skin. What's going on here? He's got an interesting left arm. His right, okay, he's got giant shoulder pauldrons. His hat, okay, what's going on with this skin? It feels very armor heavy on the top, and then it's like not very armor heavy at the bottom. I guess he has greaves on. This one's kind of interesting. I like the cape about it. The shoulder pauldron is kind of too big in my opinion. I think they should have went with smaller maybe. And I'm not quite sure what's going on with his left arm there. But other than that, it's okay. I like the color scheme and everything overall. All right, next up we have Red Card. Twisted Fate. Oh, Twisted Fate's a referee. No, stop it. He's got a red card in his hat. He's got a yellow and red card in his pocket, in his front pocket. He's got a whistle on his hand. Okay, I love this for any sort of football or soccer fans out there. I like that about it. Other than that, because I don't know who else in that splash art has a skin for this. I look like maybe Alistar, and I'm not quite sure who else. But this is fun for anybody that's a big football fan. So that's cool. The hat, I love how they did like the referee hat, but then they still gave it the Twisted Fate style at the top. So that's fun. All right, now we have Cut Purse. Oh, what is going on in this one? It looks like Graves also got one of these skins. We'll take a look at his later. I don't like the hair. There's something weird about the hair. I don't like the fact that he doesn't have his hat. Okay, so obviously this feels like more of like an updated, like kind of pirate outfit to me. I do like that aspect of it, but I'm missing the hat. You know, I was complaining about the hat being in all of the first ones, but I kind of missed the hat already. Other than that, his eyes are kind of interesting here. And again, like the greenish color, I like that as well. All right. Okay, so now we're getting to a little bit more recent skins. We have Blood Moon, which we've seen before. All right, so here is Twisted Fate with a mask on for the Blood Moon. I love the cape on the back. I love kind of the pants that he's wearing. But this is kind of one of those skins where it's like, it doesn't really look like Twisted Fate. I guess the cape is like kind of the signature thing, but since he has a hood on and a mask, it's missing the hat aspect, right? So I like it, but he could be more like he could be more Twisted Fate in this skin, I think. I think it's a good skin though overall. Okay, next. Okay, so this one, so Pulsefire. We haven't seen a Pulsefire skin in a very long time. This one does have the hat, but it's got that like, it's got like the hat that the Penguin wears, or like a mafia guy kind of wears, or an old school mafia guy kind of wears. This is weird. It's like Iron Man with like a hat. It's kind of weird. We still kind of have the cape. I do like that aspect of it. You know, it looks a little goofy to me. It looks like a goofy Iron Man, which, you know what? This is for somebody out there, okay? We do have a chroma. Hold on. Okay, I do like this one a little bit better. I like the dark colors quite a bit better, actually. With the brown hat, I think is fine. They could have kept it a black hat. But I like the red and black a little bit better on this. But it's not for me. He has a lot of skins, guys. All right, we're getting through them. We're almost there. Next is Odyssey. I have not seen an Odyssey skin, I think. Ooh, okay, so here we go. So again, you don't see Twisted Fate's face here. It's either a mask or he's literally like an actual robot. I'm not quite sure with the Odyssey one. A space smuggler, erroneously known for discretion as well as his impractically famous ship, the Wild Card. Okay, so this is like almost like Cowboy Bebop a little bit, except it doesn't look like Spike or anything at all. But anyways, I love this outfit. He's almost like a bounty hunter in this. I guess he's a space smuggler. It feels like a bounty hunter to me. I love the cape. I love the jetpack on the back. Hello? And then the hat, I'm telling you, the hat like adds so much to his character. The hat and the cape are kind of musts. But the fact that we don't see his face kind of sucks. But let's see if any of the other chromas maybe has the mask off or whatever. It doesn't. Some of the chromas kind of look like Power Ranger colors, so they're kind of weird looking. But I think overall this skin is actually kind of a step up on some of the older ones. I like this one quite a bit. All right, now we have, DWG, honoring Showmaker's winning performance as Twisted Fate during the 2020 World Championship. So semi-recently. DWG. Okay, what is going on with that hat? The hat... Ooh, the side of the hat's kind of cool. I don't like the shape of the hat, though. Shoulder pauldrons a little bit big again. I'm not a big fan of that. The cape is cool. He's showing some chest here. You would think he'd have chest hair or something, I feel like. Anyway, and then we have one chroma for it, which is just kind of an inverse of the colors with black and blue. Okay, there's something about this that was like almost there. This skin is super close to like being there and being really cool. But there's some aspects about it that I would actually change, I think, that would make it quite a bit better in my personal opinion. But I think it's okay. The hat is kind of goofy to me, though. That's just my take, guys. I'm sorry. Moving on, we have Crime City Nightmare. Oh, this looks like a Debonair skin, but a Nightmare version of it. Because it's got the Debonair like flair and everything to it. Yeah, this feels kind of like a spooky skin. I do think Debonair works for Twisted Fate. I don't know why they went with like this Nightmare version of it, but I still think it's actually kind of cool because the arm on the right side is cool. It's got eyes throughout it. That's actually kind of a cool aspect of it. But why does he always have to have a mask? Why can't we just have Twisted Fate with his face out anymore? I feel like. All right, let's look at some chromas. Ooh, the red one's actually cool. I do like the designs on the jacket keep changing each time I just select them. Oh, see, like that one has a spider. That one's like a snake. That one's like a mouth, some eyes. Okay, this one's pretty cool. I actually quite like this one a bit. I would say like for my Halloween type skins, I do like this one. It's kind of up there for me. Okay, I like this one. All right, and last but not least, we only have one more. It is called Space Groove. We have a Space Groove skin for him. Okay, I feel like he should have like a Pool Party skin. I feel like Pool Party would have been an easy skin for Twisted Fate, but maybe not. All right, let's do Space Groove. Okay, so I guess the shoulder pauldrons are big in this one, but they're not. I don't know. They kind of work for me on this one. So the blue and orange signature like Space Groove theme, I actually like this. So I like the cape. I like the shoulder pauldrons, the freaking sunglasses or just glasses, whatever you want to call them. He doesn't have the hat. I understand he doesn't have the hat, but the hair is kind of like the hat in this case. I actually really like the skin. Ooh, the different chromas are really cool as well. I'm loving the design on his shirt and the cape and everything. Let's actually take a look here. Oh, these are really fun. I like these. Okay, this I think by far is my favorite skin. I think the Space Groove Twisted Fate is the best. All right, guys, let me pick my top three. I'm gonna do this kind of quick. We'll do Space Groove. I think the Crime City Nightmare, and it's going to be Odyssey are my top three skins. I think the DWG could use a little work. Pulsefire was a little weird looking to me, and Blood Moon is like not really Twisted Fate looking to me. And Cut Purse was kind of okay as well, but the rest were kind of just like kind of recolors to me. And I think if they were maybe done now in 2024, there might have been some cooler looks to them. But they're a little bit older skins at this point. But of course, let me know, guys, what your favorite skin for Twisted Fate is in the comments, please. We do have a lot of trivia for him in the fandom wiki section here. It says Twisted Fate's name is a play on the phrase "twist of fate," befitting his theme of chances and probability. The cinematic he stars in, A Twist of Fate, is directly named after this phrase. Many of Twisted Fate's abilities were named after real-life gambling or card-related terms. So, right, we have loaded dice, which are tampered dice that have a higher probability of having a certain side face up. Wild cards references a wild card, which is a card that can represent any value in various card games. Pick a card references the commonly used phrase that magicians say to their participants for card tricks. And then stacked deck references card decks that are unfairly stacked in order to give someone an advantage. And then it says Gate references the eponymous card game called Gate. Twisted Fate was one of the first 6 champions designed, the others being Annie, Lee Sin, Singed, Scion, and Sivir. So I have not reacted to Lee Sin, Singed, or Sivir yet. Twisted Fate's dance references Gangnam Style by Psy. Oh, does it really? That was definitely like a 2 or 3 years of my life that were very much so a long time ago. Twisted Fate is the 3rd champion to feature vocals while dancing. the other being Draven and Rengar. Twisted Fate's eyes glow cyan in-game. Only Cutpurse has his pupils visible. Oh, okay, but they do not in a Twist of Fate. I was gonna say we actually saw his eyes in that skin, okay? And then the icon for loaded dice is reused for the Teamfight Tactics item loaded dice, and the blue card is also used to depict Gate. All right, also looking like we have a lot of skins for Graves here. We're going to take a look at all of these and decide our top 3. And then you guys, of course, let me know your favorite Graves skin in the comments. Let's go through these decently quickly. We're going to look at Graves first. The shotgun looks really cool. We're going to be mostly looking at, I guess, like, yeah, his little cape here and then his shotgun and all of these. That's what I'm going to be kind of the most interested in here. Next is hired gun. Okay, we got the muscles out. Look at those muscles. Man, those look crazy. The gun has changed into more of a grenade launcher, machine gun kind of looking thing. I don't know if this is a reference of like some old school like mercenary kind of look or something with the army pants and the arms and guns out. But yeah, okay. Continue on. I guess we'll take a look at the sunglasses too. He might have some sunglasses in some of these. Next is jailbreak. Okay, that kind of makes sense for Graves. He would be somebody to break out of jail. Interesting gun. It looks more like a freaking giant laser cannon or something. The gun is just insanely big. I'm not sure what is on his left shoulder here. Looking at his cape, it's a little torn. He's got some grenades on his belt. He looks a little bit like he maybe just came out of jail. Yeah. All right, next is Crime City. Oh, so here's like our mafia gangster kind of skin. It's cool. And the big Tommy gun. Oh my God, the magazine drum, I think is what it's called, is just huge on this. The hat is great. The face that Graves is making in all of these is kind of cracking me up, to be honest. I actually really like this one because it's just kind of a cool like gangster skin for him. I really like the trench coat or just like the black coat that he's wearing. All right, next is Riot. Oh, Riot Police. I'm sorry, some of these Graves skins just look ridiculous. Why does he look funny in all of these? I think maybe it's just his face. Like, look at his face in all of these. So he's got a visor, he's got riot gear on, and then a giant gun. Got it. Moving on. All right, next is, oh, see, pool party Graves. I think Twisted Fate should have a pool party as well. He's got to be with his boy Graves. Oh no, the flippy flops are out. The sandals are out. All right, we got the pool shorts. I love that the gun is in the color of a Nerf gun or like a super soaker or whatever. That's really cool. The headphones and then the towel. This skin I really enjoy. Let's take a look at the chromas for it. Oh God, what did they do to him here? Okay, I like the change on the shorts. I like that a lot. I like the skin color. I like the color change on the gun as well. But I really think I like just the original. I think the original is really fun. Pool Party Graves is really good. I feel like we got a really good skin for Graves earlier than we did for Twisted Fate. All right, next. Okay, here's the cutthroat version of Graves. Let's take a look at this one. Yeah, they both definitely look quite a bit different in this skin. So they're basically like pirates in this. But there's like some change to them. It's like the hair here, the eyes and the face kind of changes as well. The outfit is interesting. And then he has a cannon for a gun. Just a mini cannon. That's actually probably one of the cooler parts of the skin is the fact that he has this giant cannon. Next up is Snow Day Graves. That's interesting. He has a snow blower gun. I was going to say, yep, snow blowing gun, and he's just got some winter clothes on. I think this is a good skin to put on during like the months of November, December, January, February. Perfect skin to have on. All right, next is Victorious. Oh, I like the Victorious skins because I like yeah, see, look at that. Look at the shoulder pauldron. Look at the purple like design, purple with the gold design here. The gun is awesome. Yeah, this looks cool. Let's look at the chromas. The hair is a little interesting. Oh, that we got like white, and then we have like a blue one here. Ooh, with the black, blue and black. And then this is black with some green. Is that a green there? Yeah. I actually really like all of these. The chromas are decent. I feel like it could use a little bit more chromas, but that's fine. I really like Victorious Graves as well. Not quite there to our top 3, though. Let's keep going. Oh, Praetorian. The splash art looks crazy. Whoa, 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 whoa. The gun is even bigger, I feel like. Okay, so this is one of those skins that doesn't look like its champion. But I kind of like how this looks. I love the cape or whatever you want to call it. It's not like a full cape. I'm not sure what you call that exactly, This is kind of a cool Graves skin. This would be like terrifying to fight against, I feel like, on the battlefield though. I like this one quite a bit. It is one of those skins that I'll have to think about because it doesn't necessarily look like the champion, but I might consider it. Battle Professor Graves. Oh, he doesn't take me. I don't see him as a professor, but that's okay. Oh, the gun kind of looks interesting. This literally kind of looks like a Lari's gun in Overwatch 2. Anyways, moving on. I like the outfit. That's really fun. He looks like what you would wear in like Yu-Gi-Oh or something. He looks like, what's his name with the collars up? I can't remember what his name is from Yu-Gi-Oh. Anyways, I think this is a fun skin as well. I like the glasses. I feel like the glasses are very anime, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but they feel very anime to me. I like the outfit a lot. I think the gun is interesting. It's a little smaller, but it almost looks like a sword, right? It's got a sword hilt here. I don't know what's going on with that, but it kind of looks cool. I kind of like the world of the Battle Professor, like that Battle Professor world. All the skins are pretty cool in that. Ooh, I like the design on the back on this too. All right, this one's cool. I'm not sure about it yet. Okay, so this right here is kind of the big difference between him and Twisted Fate. Graves was a Sentinel of Light for a little bit, so we do know that. We didn't get any of that in like the biography or story, but I know this is the biggest difference between the two, of course. All right, so Sentinel Graves, the gun. Whoa. Whoa, okay, I like how he holds it in this one. It's a little bit different how he has to hold it. This is kind of cool. I like the Sentinel of Light armor colors. I like the black, white, and gold. I think that's a really cool color scheme. And then let's take a look. The hair is okay. Let's take a look at the cape. Oh, he has a little bit of a cape with like this rope dangling. That's kind of cool. Okay, Sentinels of Light. I just have like I really like this. The white, black, and gold. That color scheme to me is super solid. That I might also consider this for the top 3. We'll have to take a look at the rest, though. All right, only 2 more. We have EDG, so honoring Flandre's winning performance as Graves during the 2021 World Championship. We've taken a look at a couple of these EDG skins. How is this one? I like the dragon scales. I like the gun, but the dragon scales... I feel like, did Graves get skinnier? What happened? I felt like maybe the original design of Graves is just bigger in general. I feel like he got skinnier or something. Maybe it's just in this skin. Okay, I like the dragon scales. I think they're pretty unique. I don't really like the puffy coat part up here at the top. I'm not a big fan of that. Other than that, though, I think this is a solid skin, but it's just not my favorite. And last but not least is, Porcelain Graves. That's kind of the last skin I expected Graves to get. All right, let's take a look at Porcelain Graves. Oh, of course, the gun is awesome looking. We got like a dragon head. He's got like Yasuo hair, though. That's a little off-putting. The blue and white porcelain, of course, looks really cool. Let's take a look at the rest of the chromas. Ooh, I like the red one. Ooh, I like the colors because the color of the mouth on the gun changes. Oh, that's really cool. Okay, and then let me take a look. Oh, yeah, look at the cape. The design on the cape changes as well. All right, Porcelain Graves is an interesting one. I think I have to take a look one more time, guys, and we'll decide on our top 3. All right, so going through Graves and Twisted Fate definitely had quite a bit different skins choices for them. I have to go with Pool Party, though, for our first in the top 3 skins that I like for Graves. I think next up is where it gets a little bit harder. I like Victorious. I like Praetorian. I think Battle Professor's okay, but I think I'm going to eliminate Battle Professor. Sentinel and then Porcelain are the next ones that I also enjoy. So we have to choose between these next 4 to decide which ones to cut. Okay, so Victorious is cool. I like, okay, so Praetorian, we're going to cut it. As much as I like Praetorian, it's really cool. I'm going to cut it. Victorious, and then what is it? Porcelain and Sentinel. I think I'm going to go Sentinel. Oh gosh, it's hard between Victorious and Porcelain. We will actually go Porcelain because of the gun. I do like Victorious a lot, though. I really think the shoulder pauldron and like his cape and everything in that one is really cool. But yeah, very, very close one for me. Praetorian is a very good skin and Victorious are a very good skin. But yeah, so top 3, guys, is Porcelain, Sentinel, and the Pool Party Graves. I want to hear from you guys. What is your favorite Graves skin? He has a little bit of trivia here as well. Graves' joke references gallows humor as per his surname, Graves. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. We haven't listened to any of his voice lines just yet, so I'm not sure what that's referencing. Graves' dance references one from a country show. Okay, I'm not gonna there's a YouTube link. I'm not gonna take a look at that. That's okay. Graves was the second to last champion to have a league judgment. They were discontinued after release. Varus was the last champion to receive one. What is the league judgment? End of the line is among a few abilities that were named after a quote of their champion. In this case, it references his end of the line quote, which he had before the patch he got the ability. And then the others are Dr. Mundo's Goes Where He Pleases and Draven's League of Draven. The icon for collateral damage is a reference to explosive hazard safety signs. Graves' shotgun can be seen in the game's Mac version trailer. Graves was the product of player base requests for a manly ranged carry. Really? The player base requested for a manly ranged carry character. In the Chinese localization, the names of all 4 of his active abilities are 4 character phrases that allude to the criminal underworld and are often titles of gangster or martial arts films or television. So this one's a bit of a deep dive. So let's read these here. So end of the line becomes whatever that is, which is literally a person in river and lake, river and lake. It's a euphemism for underworld, and the phrase is usually used to imply a person in the underworld cannot avoid committing unsavory actions. Secondary title of Young and Dangerous, a Hong Kong triad film in Chinese. And then we have Smokescreen becomes covering the sky with one hand, a phrase to describe a criminal so well connected and or powerful they can halt justice. Secondary title of Young and Dangerous 3, a sequel to the above in Chinese. And then we have Quick Draw becomes literally ferocious dragon crossing river, usually used to describe a ruthless foreign rival or criminal. Secondary title of Young and Dangerous 2 in Chinese. It is also the Chinese name of Way of the Dragon, starring Bruce Lee, who fights against foreign martial arts, including Chuck Norris. And then we have the last one, Collateral Damage, becomes literally Struggle of Dragon and Tiger, a phrase similar to Clash of the Titans in English, the secondary title of Young and Dangerous 5 in Chinese. It is also the Chinese name of Enter the Dragon. Now, I'm wondering when they created Graves and they created these names for like End of the Line, Smokescreen, Quick Draw, is that just a coincidence, or is that something that was intended, basically? You guys let me know in the comments. All right, for the voice lines, we're going to start off with Twisted Fates Legends of Runeterra voice lines, and then we'll move on to the regular League of Legends ones. These are technically going to be the newest voice lines for Twisted Fate, so let's give these a listen.
Win big or die trying.
Brash game.
Try on the high stakes table, huh?
Okay.
Funny the hand life deals you, don't you think?
'Tis a sharp tongue you've got there, River
I assume
Snake.
a lot of card type
Suppose
voice
you
lines.
still want me dead.
Poker voice
Not till you
lines.
scream for mercy.
Investigating Officer, Unit 6.
6? How many badges do you guys need?
What's that a reference
I
to?
dealt
Huh.
with you Shadow Owls types before.
Okay.
They are nothing like me.
Okay. Okay. We played Rune King.
Quite a
We
while,
know about
Sarah.
Maokai a little bit.
So serious. You're prettier when you smile.
Together again, huh?
We're just one Graves short of a full house.
Haha. Okay, that's
Well,
funny.
well. Got any more work for me?
You're not still mad about that, are you?
Okay, I like the
Okay.
banter between those two.
Go on then.
Watch the ball, folks.
Like a magician.
Blood in the water.
And they call me a shark.
Card shark.
Always got time for the law, ma'am.
Right. You and me both.
If it ain't Little Miss
Is this my
Bunch.
first time hearing Vi in game? I think it is.
Half?
There's the "Where's your better half" voice line that we got reference to in the wiki.
Out of hand.
Nothing slight about these hands.
Okay, I like Vi's voice
Swinging
lines
them
too in
big
this.
fists around Vi?
Stick around. I'll show ya.
I kind of like the voice actress for Vi in the game too.
Unit 6.
Evening, officer.
So weird that he has voice lines with some cops in this.
Waste your youth.
It was in the cards.
Hmm.
Outplayed. The deck was stacked against us.
Ah, that's funny.
Huh. Didn't see that coming.
Okay.
Gotta trust your instincts. Hesitation's a tell.
All right, everybody. That's it for Twisted Fate's voice lines in Legends of Runeterra. Not very long whatsoever, but that's okay. I still enjoyed these quite a bit. I think the voice lines between him and Misfortune and him and Vi were very, very fun, in my opinion. Of course, though, we're obviously missing, we need Graves in Legends of Runeterra, because I would love to see the voice lines between those two in the game, especially because those two haven't had any voice line updates to them as far as I'm aware in the regular game League of Legends. So, yeah, I mean, add Graves into Legends of Runeterra Riot as soon as possible, so we can at least have these two together. You know what I mean? If we just established like in 2022 that they're actually like a couple thing, then we kind of need Graves to be in Legends of Runeterra. But otherwise, I thought these were fun voice lines, short and sweet. Again, I think the voice lines between him and Misfortune and him and Vi were just kind of fun. Just kind of like fun banter. Like they were kind of like friendly banter between each other. No ill will between each other or anything like that. So it's pretty cool. So I enjoyed these quite a bit. All right, everybody, we're on the wiki. We're going to take a look at Twisted Fate's voice lines. We're just going to go through these kind of rapid fire. There's a lot of them, and then we'll discuss the voice lines a little bit, and then we'll do Graves right after. All right, so the pick voice lines. Oh, that's the card effect. Okay.
Lady Luck is smiling.
Lady Luck.
I reckon.
Okay. Oh, and then moving.
I reckon.
Oh, interesting. So he uses that voice line twice. So these are all moving voice lines.
Charmed, I'm sure. Doing it.
Doing it? What do we mean by that?
I'm one of a kind. It's my lucky day.
Okay.
Deal 'em. Just the luck of the draw. Don't mind if I do. It's all in the cards. Always on the run. Looking good.
All right, so very confident, smooth talker, right? So like, you know, between the dynamic of Twisted Fate and Graves, Twisted Fate is the talker. Moving on. Taunts.
Only a fool plays the hand he's dealt.
Okay. Cheater. He's got a card up his sleeve, of course.
Nothing better than a fool playing tough.
Okay.
Only 2 jokers in the deck, and I get dealt you.
Okay, the Joker. Okay, that's a cool voice line. All right, joke.
Cheater's just a fancy word for winner. Never lost a fair game, or played one.
There you go. If you're playing a game with Twisted Fate, expect for him to cheat. All right, we have his laughs. Okay, kind of a dirty laugh, I feel like. But I guess a cheater would have a dirty laugh. Okay. All right, and then we have 4 dance lines. Twisted Fate hums, grunts, sings a melody, and chuckles.
Yeah.
What a weird voice line.
Yeah.
I don't know if I like them.
Giddy up.
Giddy up. Oh, no. What is happening in these dance voice lines? He's just like humming to himself, basically.
On delay.
On delay. All right. Those are so weird. All right, moving on. We have the basic attacking and attacking voice lines. All right, just as grunts. All right, and then we have
I
attacking.
never bluff. Let's raise the stakes.
He never bluffs because he's always cheating, but all right.
All or nothing. Let it ride. Trouble. Nobody touches the hat.
Oh, that's a good voice line. Yeah. His hat named Envy, of course. Like, the hat is the most important thing because remember that we read in the wiki that he like fell from something and the first thing he was looking for was his hat.
Pick a card.
There's a magician kind of voice line there.
I got this.
All right, and then moving on to all the ability casting voice lines, starting off with wild cards. Oh, they're all just grunts. All right, and then we have picking a blue card.
Clear as day. Feeling blue.
I like that.
Eyes open.
And then we have, I feel like I've heard that eyes open voice line before. All right, picking a red card.
Thorned rose. Blood red. Seeing red.
Those are cool. And then picking a gold card.
Lucky them. Hold it, partner. Shining gold.
Cool. All right, moving on, we have the stacked deck voice line. Starting off with empowered attack is ready, and these are just laughs. More laughs. More dirty cheater laughs, I feel like. All right, and then using destiny.
It ain't luck. It's destiny. No fighting destiny.
That's cool. All right, and then using gate.
I'm already gone.
So the ultimate here.
I'm gone. Gotta hit the trail.
I gotta hit the trail is a classic. And then we have some chuckles. What is he doing this ha every time? Why is he got to do like this weird heh before he laughs? All right, and then we have a couple more voice lines, and that's it. So we have stunning an enemy, Graves, with the gold card specifically.
Dead in his tracks. Tough luck, Malcolm. Simmer down, hotshot.
Okay. All right, and then the recall here is only for the Space Groove skin, but let's listen to it. Okay. All right, there's the Space Groove theme. All right, and then we just have his deaths. I'm sorry, but death voice lines always make me laugh, I think. Like, I get it, but they're just too funny to me. All right, that's all we have for Twisted Fate. Let's look at the little trivia here for the voice lines, though. So many of his lines are gambling related, of course, card game related, or specifically poker related references and double entendres. So the I'm one of a kind is a double entendre on his individuality and the of a kind hand in poker. All or nothing references the double or nothing gamble. The taunt, only 2 jokers in the deck and I get dealt you, references the joker card in card games, right? Of course. In the context of the quote, he refers to how unlucky he was to have dealt the person he is speaking to, since drawing a joker from a deck of 54 cards, including 2 jokers, is roughly 3.7%. All right, the taunt, only a fool plays the hand he's dealt, references the act of playing or using the hand, set of cards that are dealt, initially given to them, which is considered a novice move in most situations in various card games. Okay. I thought it was more a reference just like he's always cheating, so he's always using other cards anyways, the ones that he's not given to him in his hand. He's always just got cards up his sleeves. But then we have I never bluff, references the act of bluffing in poker. Let's raise the stakes, also references raising the bet in poker. And then let it ride references both the term of letting it ride, choosing not to withdraw part of their wager, as well as the card game itself, Let It Ride, which is based on poker. Very cool voice lines here. I enjoyed these quite a bit. The laugh is kind of funny to me. Of course, I would have liked to have a little bit more like interactions with other champions, but unfortunately, since his voice lines are quite a bit old, we do not have that. We did get a little bit in Legends of Runeterra, which was nice. But let's go ahead and move on to Graves' voice lines next. All right, let's go ahead and look at the wiki page for Graves' voice lines. Ooh, he doesn't have that many either. Of course, this guy needs some more voice lines. It looks like there's another voice line for him for the Battle Professor, but they're actually not showing that. Or no, there's Praetorian ones and Sentinel voice lines, not the Battle Professor. All right, let's move on. It looks like the Battle Professor voice lines are exactly the same as the original. I see what's going on here. All right, let's move on and see. There's not many voice lines for him, guys, so we're going to go through these decently quick. But, of course, I want to hear from you guys in the comments, you know, any little tidbits and things like that from both of these champions on their voice lines and things like that. All right, let's start off with the pick. Oh, Destiny shooting.
Dead man walking.
Ooh, I like his voice.
End of the line.
Okay, I like the voice actor for this so far. All right, we're doing the moving voice lines. Let's go through them all.
I ain't got time to bleed. Easy, partner. Got any bright ideas? Always trouble. Let's settle the score. I got no time for games. What are you playing at? Try me. Feeling lucky?
I love the feeling lucky voice line. That's a very good one. Very cowboy kind of like voice lines, I feel like. Or maybe, yeah, just very like cowboy type of voice lines, I feel like here. All right, moving on to taunt.
Hope you weren't planning to die of natural causes.
All right.
Hope you weren't planning to die of natural causes.
Okay.
Don't die yet. That was only a warning shot.
Chuckles. The chuckle is so long afterwards. Like he's laughing at his own joke, clearly. All right, jokes next.
Everyone's a hero till you shoot off a leg or two.
And then they're no longer a hero? All right.
I like my enemies 2 ways. Dead or about to be.
All right, I like that one. That's actually a decent joke. I like that one, Graves. All right, now we have his laughs. Why do these two have terrible laughs? I think Twisted Fate's laugh is worse because I think it's just like so like, I don't know, dirty. That's the only word I can think of to describe his, but some of these are okay. That's a genuine laugh, I feel like there. All right, now we're moving on to attacking.
Like fish in a barrel.
Ooh, yeah. Where does that voice line come from? Like fish in a barrel. We've all heard that somewhere, right?
They picked the wrong fight.
And same with this, end of the line.
End of the line. Go ahead. I like moving targets. This is gonna tickle. Think I'm bluffing?
Okay, we got some bluffing voice lines for Graves as well. Moving on, we're going to his ability casting. We're starting off with Smokescreen.
Lights out. Lights out. All in. All in.
Oh, yeah, he has gambling kind of voice lines as well, which is kind of cool.
Betting blind. Betting blind. Night, night.
Night, night.
Night, night.
Those are good ones. Hitting an enemy with Nocturne, specifically with Smokescreen. Oh, that's interesting.
I got you, darkness. Who's in the dark now?
What an interesting interaction, specifically only with Nocturne. Again, Nocturne is somebody I haven't reacted to. You guys let me know if I should go react to Nocturne, but I know he doesn't have like a lot going on with him currently. They need to update his lore. All right, using Quick Draw. Very quick grunts from Graves. Collateral damage. Just little quick ha's and chuckles. And then death.
Oh, tarnation.
Tarnation. I haven't heard the word tarnation in I don't even know how many years. Graves groans and perishes. Again, death voice lines. Always so funny. All right, so what is this? Co-op versus AI responses. Match start. This calls for the old double-barreled hello. I guess we don't have these in here for me to look at. Against a player Twisted Fate. Well, it's time I straightened you out, Fate. Player team victory, he says GG, and then player team defeat, end of the line. So this is specifically versus AI. All right, so let's look at the trivia. It says, I ain't got time to bleed references the same line from Predator. Oh, I guess that's, is that an Arnold Schwarzenegger voice line? A side-by-side comparison of the original line can be seen here. Dead Man Walking references Death Row. Feeling Lucky might be referencing the eponymous character from Dirty Harry, right, of course, played by actor Clint Eastwood. This is, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Eastwood also played the aforementioned Man with No Name from the Dollars trilogy, another possible source of inspiration for Graves. Then we have End of the Line, might be referencing a 1988 country rock song, End of the Line, by the Traveling Wilburys. In the Polish localization, he says, I See Darkness, which is referencing Sex Mission. You Always Pee with the Door Locked, referencing Killer. And then In the Name of the Rules, What Do You Know About Killing People, referencing Pigs. And then I Cleared the Weed, meaning killing someone malicious, referencing Pigs 2, The Last Blood. Yeah, we always listen to the voice lines in English, but I do sometimes wonder in like the other languages, are there other like additional trivia, like little tidbits as well. All right, guys, that does it for the voice lines for these two. So that's going to be everything Twisted Fate and Graves that we have lore-wise right now, everybody. So what do we need from these two? So recently, I guess in the Bambolini story from 2022, that's where we had the confirmation of the two actually being a couple. Or are they a couple, or we just know that they actually like love and have a thing for each other? I need to know if they're officially like, hey, did one of them ask to be each other's like partner or something specifically in that story? You guys will have to let me know in the comments for anybody that read that one. I'm just happy to see, we had a little tiff between the two after Graves got sent to the locker, and then he had this grudge against Twisted Fate, but then they came back together. They had like a common like little like enemy there for a minute, and then they had to like work together to get out of it with the whole gangplank thing, the whole misfortune thing. So I'm glad that they are kind of back together and friends again. Obviously, I think the trust maybe still needs working on. They both still don't exactly fully trust each other. But now that they're a couple, you would think like trust is pretty important in a relationship. So you would think that the trust is there between the two. I don't see them being broken up in any way or fashion anytime soon unless something happens, in the near future for their lore. But I think what they're doing right now with their lore, I think Graves and Twisted Fate just doing like little bounty hunter things or doing little things to like steal from the rich and just doing little cons like that. I think those are the perfect kind of things that they should be doing in the future. There's nothing they really need to do for their lore, I don't think, in the future. They're probably just going to end up staying in the Bilgewater area unless they have like some little thing in Piltover or something to get some money for some people. Of course, we have like the whole, the thing between Misfortune and Gangplank happening in Bilgewater. There's a lot of actually moving elements in Bilgewater. So if there's any sort of big event again in the future in Bilgewater, I do see Graves and Twisted Fate somehow being a part of it in some way. We did obviously have Graves join the Sentinels of Light, and Twisted Fate didn't, which is still very odd to me. But then we also have Twisted Fate in Legends of Runeterra and not Graves. also very odd to me. I think they kind of need to be like together in everything. So hopefully we get Graves in the future in Legends of Runeterra. And if that happens, I'll go ahead and listen to those voice lines. But guys, you know, these are actually kind of one of the first champions I would say that are kind of, and maybe it makes sense for their characters, but they don't really have like an overarching big goal of theirs as far as I'm aware. Like, you know, we have all the other champions we've looked at, right? Like, we can go back to Rel that we just did a reaction to not too long ago. Like, her obvious goal is revenge for what happened to her in Noxus. There's those little things like that. We have, you know, LeBlanc and Mordekaiser. Like, there's usually some big goal of theirs where they have, like, something that they want to either conquer, they want revenge, or they want something like that, right? For these two, it's kind of just keep doing what they're doing. Keep conning the rich, keep getting money, keep, you know what I mean? Keep getting rid of the enemies that they don't like. I don't really see them having any, they're not taking part in any giant, like, overarching Runeterra world-ending thing either. You know, we did have Graves with the Sentinels of Light stuff, but that was kind of like, he was kind of forced into that a little bit. I don't really think there's anything else going on between these two that we can see in the near future. But I think that's the kind of characters that they are, right? They're kind of like the guys on the side that are kind of just doing their own thing. They're the people that might let the world, you know, things are coming to an end, then they'll eventually step in. But until the world is coming to an end, these two are just going to keep conning the rich and just doing any cons that they can. Anytime they can throughout Runeterra and things like that. So maybe we'll get them venturing off to Ionia or something. That'd be kind of cool to see them in Ionia randomly and see them meeting some of the Ionian champions. Other than that, I don't see anything like kind of near in their future. Maybe just blossoming their relationship a little bit more, but we'll have to see what they end up doing with these two champions in the future, guys. All right, I feel like there was a lot of content for these two champions, even though I say there wasn't a lot of voice lines or anything like that. Please let me know in the comments, guys. Graves, Twisted Fate, any things that I may have missed, any things that you guys just want to add to this reaction. These two are very, very cool, and I'm glad that they actually... is anybody actually mad that they made them a couple or whatever in 2022? I feel like everybody was probably pushing for it, right? Because it just seemed like they were anyways. If there was any, like, you know, random just people bashing that kind of thing in 2022, I feel like it's the internet, so there might have been. But all right, guys. Please let me know in the comments anything that you want me to know about these two champions. Please leave a thumbs up on this video and subscribe to the channel and check out my other videos here on the reaction channel. We have a bunch of other League of Legends reactions to take a look at, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.